Report.
I got it. All right. Carson came to school today, school today, school today. Carson came to school today. He came to school on Tuesday. Jahari came to school today, school today, school today. Jahari came to school today. He came to school on Tuesday. Did I say Thursday? Tuesday. It's Tuesday. All right. Jalea came to school today, school today, school today. Jalea came to school today. She came to school on Tuesday. James came to school today, school today, school today. James came to school today. He came to school on Tuesday. Janiyah came to school today, school today, school today. Janiyah came to school today. She came to school on Tuesday. King came to school today, school today, school today. King came to school today. He came to school on Tuesday. Lauren came to school today, school today, school today. Lauren came to school today. She came to school on Tuesday. Miss Ramsey came to school today, school today, school today. Miss Ramsey came to school today. She came to school on Tuesday. Miss Potomi came to school today, school today, school today. Miss Potomi came to school today. She came to school on Tuesday. Miss Cheatham came to school today, school today, school today. Miss Cheatham came to school today. She came to school on Tuesday. Miss Fan came to school today, school today, school today. Miss Fan came to school today. She came to school on Tuesday. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning,
I'm happy to see you this morning. Okay, who can tell me the name of today? Last word we sang. We came to school on. Carson, what is it?
What's today?
We came to school on
Tuesday.
Tuesday. You got it, buddy. All right, when we sing our Days of the Week song, we're going to touch our nose when we say Tuesday. Ready? There are 7 days in the week. Name them all. Name them all. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Saturday. And what is the name of this month? Remember, the month changed. It's not January anymore. What month is it? Jalea, what month is it? What comes after January? February. You got it. This month is February, and I think we'll tap our shoulders for February. Ready? You ready, Janiyah? Is second. It's not the very first one, but it's pretty close. So have your shoulder tappers ready. Ready, James? January, February, March, and April, May, June, July, and August, September, October, November, December. These are the months of the year. And here is my calendar. And I did not mark off. Yesterday was Monday. The 1st. So what is the number for today? 2. And we say, yes, we say the second. We say first, second. It's number 2. But when we say which day it is, we say the second. So today is, these say Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And here we are at Tuesday, February the 2nd, 2021. And I'm going to mark off the 2. Now look what's down here. What is this? It's a heart. Why do you think I put a heart on my calendar?
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day. Way to go. Good job, James. So let's count the days till Valentine's Day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 days till Valentine's Day. So when we celebrate Valentine's Day, we do something for somebody we love. So you might buy them a card or get them some chocolate or something like that. That's coming up in 12 days.
On Valentine's Day.
All right. Today is February the 2nd, and today is a day that some people call Groundhog Day. Groundhog Day. What is a groundhog? So I've got a picture to show you. This is a picture of a groundhog. Look at him, isn't he cute? He's got big old teeth in the front.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, he is cute.
Wow.
And his name is Punxsutawney Phil. He's in he's in Pennsylvania. And I go, look, he's talking to this man. He's talking, hey, Miss Coleman.
That's the groundhog.
Good, how are you?
That's the groundhog. That's all they're trying to see if he saw.
We don't know, ma'am.
Oh,
Not in February. Right. Not we're still virtual through February. Anyway, let me get back to class, all right? Thank you, ma'am. Bye-bye. So this is Punxsutawney Phil. His name is Phil. And he is talking to this man. And he is telling this man about the weather. Now, so what happened is a long time ago, farmers were trying to decide when to plant their crops, and they looked at the groundhog. So the groundhog would come out of his burrow. He burrows under the ground, and he would come out into the air. And this is the day, and he would look around. And so the story goes.
Yeah.
The story goes that if the groundhog sees his shadow, he gets scared and he runs back into his burrow, and we're going to have much more winter. And if he comes out and he doesn't see his shadow, then we're going to have an early spring. That means it's going to get warm soon. So I want y'all, so one of the things I'm going to, and I'll remind you again in a minute, one of the things I want you to do during our break is to go outside and look at the weather and decide if you think Punxsutawney Phil or the Birmingham groundhog, his name is Birmingham Bill. Anyway, you have to decide if the groundhog saw his shadow this morning and we're going to have a long winter, or if he did not see his shadow and we're going to have an early spring. So you got to go outside and check and see if the sun is shining and if that's bringing shadows. Okay. All right. This is a story about a groundhog, and the story says, will spring be early or will spring be late?
Oh, spring be late.
Yeah, I don't want spring to be late. I want spring to come now. I'm ready for some weather. Anyway, it says by Crockett Johnson, creator of Harold and Friend. Crockett Johnson is the name of the author. He's the one who wrote the words and drew the pictures. Okay, and this is what part of the book? The front cover.
The front cover.
Yep. This is the back cover.
Fine.
The title page, and the title of the book is Will Spring Be Early?
Everything.
Okay. Will spring be early? Will spring be early or will spring be late? And remember, we said if the groundhog sees his shadow, spring will be late. And if he doesn't see his shadow, spring will be early. It was the second morning in February, just like today. The woods and the fields were covered with snow, and the wind blew from a cold gray sky. This is the day, said a voice from under the ground. Look, right here. This hole is saying, this is the day. This is the day I will make my prediction. Will spring be early or will spring be late? The voice came from a hole in the middle of the field. It was the groundhog coming up out of his tunnel, talking to himself. So he's been asleep under the ground. He dug a big hole under the ground, and he's been asleep under the dirt. He made himself a house down there. If I don't see my shadow, spring will be early. If I do see my shadow, spring will be late. I will go back in my tunnel and it will mean bad news. Spring will be late this year. Okay, can you see a little nose coming up?
Yeah.
Okay, it looks bad focus on my side. The groundhog shivered. How nice it is that I'm expected to stay out only when I have good news, he said. Ooh, he's cold. He's coming up. Oh, there he is.
Coming
And
up.
he said, I don't have to stay outside if it's good, unless it's good news. He raised himself up on his front paws. Nobody wants to hear of a late spring. He looked at the gray sky. No shadows today. Spring will be early. Yay! He hopped out of the hole. I must tell the animals. It will please them all, even the grouchy pig who sneers at my predictions.
No,
Prediction means he's telling what he thinks is going to happen. You know, when we are reading a book, and I say, what do you think is going to happen next? You are making a prediction. You're saying what you think is going to happen next. Today, the groundhog is making a prediction, what he thinks is going to happen next. He started off and stopped. Wait, spring is an important matter. I must be certain there is no sun. I must make sure I have no shadow. He tried to smell the sun. Nope. He raised his ears and listened for it, but all he smelled or heard was a truck on the road at the edge of the field. The road was beyond the end of the groundhog's world. He paid no attention to the truck or to the words that said Artificial Flower Company. Here, see the truck? It says Artificial Flower Company in tiny letters. As the truck rounded a bend in the road, a red flower flew from it. The flower sailed high across the sky and landed in the field. No sun and no shadow, the groundhog was saying to himself as he examined the snow at his feet. Definitely an early spring. Smiling, he set off toward the woods. Wait a minute. Well, so far we know that the flower is in the snow. I want to know what happened about the flower, but he just went off to tell his friends about early spring. How delighted they will be when I tell them. My prediction will spread joy throughout the land. And he hopped along happily, humming a spring song. There it is. Suddenly, he's halted. There, with its stem in the snow, was a bright red flower in full bloom. What? How can there be a flower in the snow? His eyes grew wide and his mouth opened. Spring, he shouted. Spring, it's already here. He broke into a run. I never have made a better prediction than this. Even the pig will congratulate me. He yelled through the woods, Spring is here! Spring is here! Spring, said the badger. The groundhog said so, the dormouse cried, dancing around in the snow. Woo! Here he goes. Spring? Is it really spring, the skunk kid? The groundhog said so, said the rabbit, hopping with joy and skidding on a pad of ice. The squirrel stuffed the last of his acorns into his mouth. With a carefree cheer, he jumped from his hollow tree and landed in the snow.
Yeah.
They were all coming out because the groundhog said spring. Spring, yelled the chipmunk, thanks to the groundhog. The good predictor, said the raccoon, cheering as the groundhog ran by. Spring is here, the groundhog kept shouting in a voice that was becoming rather hoarse. I predict spring is here now. He ran on to the bear's cave. When the bear woke up, the bear was asleep in his cave. When the bear woke up and heard what the groundhog was saying, he roared in delight. Roar! Groundhog, you do better every year. Spring! Spring in February, splendid. What would we do without you? I don't know, said the groundhog, swelling his chest as he went. When somebody said, how would we do it without you? He said, I don't know. You couldn't do it without me. At last, he came to the pig. The shouting and cheering had waked the pig, and the pig was grumpily rooting under a tree stump for breakfast. Spring, spring, it is here, the groundhog shouted loudly in the pig's ear. Humph, said the pig. Spring, said the groundhog. With his mouth full of frozen roots, the pig turned around and glared at the groundhog. Look, he said, snorting. Snow, ice. It's the spring, said Groundhog, suddenly shivering. Go away, said the pig, and he went back to his rooting. The groundhog went to the other animals. Spring really is here, he said. Come, let me show you. Of course spring is here, said the rabbit. You said so. And you are always right, the bear said. If you were not, we wouldn't believe in you. Come, said the groundhog. The animals followed him to the field where they saw the red flower in full bloom. It was more than they needed to see. They danced in a circle around it and shouted in praise of spring and of the groundhog. The pig stopped rooting in the snow and came over to see what was going on. The happy animals watched him as he trotted up to the red flower. You see, the groundhog said, spring is here. Humph, said the pig, staring at the flower. Then he rooted it up out of the snow and chomped it. He tossed the flower aside. The leaves are paper, the stem is wire, the petals are plastic, he said, and the lot of you will freeze out here. Oh, the pig made everybody so sad. As he left, he glanced at the sky and at the groundhog. I have a prediction to make, he said. It's going to snow. And it began to snow. Shivering, the animals looked at the twisted flower and they looked at one another. The groundhog began to creep quietly away. Just a moment, bellowed the bear. There is some explaining to be done. Who is the cause of this? Why are we out here freezing? We are celebrating spring, said the chipmunk. We were all so happy, the dormouse said, until the pig came and chewed the flower. Precisely, shouted the bear. And now we're cold and miserable and ridiculous. It's perfectly clear who to blame. Who do you think they're going to be mad at? Are they going to be mad at the groundhog for telling them it's spring? Are they going to be mad at the pig for telling them it's not?
They're going to be mad at the pig.
Well, you are right. They blamed the pig, of course, and on the second morning of every February, the groundhog continues to make his prediction. Will spring be early or will spring be late? The end.
Spring will be late.
So I want you to think about this. The groundhog, when he comes out of his hole, if he sees his shadow, he gets scared and goes back in his hole, and spring is going to be late. If he comes out and it's cloudy and he doesn't see his shadow, wait a minute. If he doesn't see his shadow, then he says spring is going to be early. Now, the groundhog doesn't really know. It's just kind of a fun story. But today, when we're on break, because I'm getting ready to tell you goodbye, and I want you to go check outside and see whether you think that the groundhog would see his shadow or whether he would not. And we're going to come back and we're going to do our question of the day is going to be, do you think the groundhog saw his shadow today? Okay, so you have to go check the weather. If it's too cold to go outside, look out the window and decide if you think the groundhog saw his shadow or he did not. Okay, that's your assignment between now and 9:40. Okay, I love y'all and we'll see you at 9:40. Oh, thank you.
Yes.
And y'all go check your weather because that's going to be what we talk about first thing, whether the groundhog saw his shadow. Love you. Bye.
Bye-bye.